hardest days. Hope still burns, it won't retire. This is me, my life rewired. I was broken, now I'm whole. Wrote new chapters for my soul. Not the end, just re-inspired. This is me, my life rewired.
Welcome. Today's presentation is titled Smooth Landing, Navigating Cognitive Decline After Traumatic Brain Injury. I'm excited you are joining me, and I hope by the end of this presentation you'll learn that managing brain health is not just important for brain injury survivors, but equally for the general population as well. So let's buckle up, raise our seat backs, and get ready for takeoff. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Steve Cowherd, and I suffered a traumatic brain injury when I fell off of a mini Segway scooter in October of 2018. I am 62 years old and happily married to my amazing wife, Kathleen Cowherd, who has also been my care partner through this journey. We have 3 wonderful children and 7 beautiful grandchildren, 5 of whom were born after my injury. I work full-time as a consultant and software trainer, and beginning 2025, I had the pleasure of joining the executive board at the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky. Outside of work, I am a passionate artist, photographer, and brain injury advocate. But enough about me. Now that we've reached our cruising altitude, let's get this journey underway. Before we dive in, let's review the main goals for today's presentation. First one is I want to share an honest look at my journey so far after being diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment in August of 2023, including many of the things I have been able to learn along the way. I hope by sharing my experiences, it encourages others to share their own stories so we can learn from each other's personal journeys. The purpose of this presentation is to raise awareness about cognitive decline and emphasize the importance of brain health and self-care for everyone listening. Just a quick disclaimer. The information I'm presenting comes from well-researched facts and my own personal experience, but it's not to be considered medical advice. Let's start by looking at some interesting statistics. Did you know that 50 to 70% of people who survive a moderate to severe traumatic brain injury show measurable cognitive decline within 1 year after the injury? So by now you're probably asking yourself, what exactly is cognitive decline? Let's take a closer look. Before we get too deep into cognitive decline, let's start off by reviewing what is cognition. In simple terms, cognition is the mental action or process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through thought, experience, and the senses. It's how we interpret and make sense of everything around us. Here are some of the key areas of cognition that play a major role in how we think, learn, and interact. Perception, the ability to interpret sensory information, attention, the capacity to focus on specific information and block out distractions, memory, the ability to store and recall information, reasoning, the process of drawing conclusions from the information we have, problem solving, the ability to identify and overcome challenges, and language, the capacity to understand and produce language. These areas all work together in unison to help us navigate the world, day in and day out. Without them, we would be lost. Did you know that the human brain usually reaches its peak performance between the age of 25 and 35? That's right, you heard me correct. Once you hit 35, normal aging starts to bring on some gradual cognitive decline. Normal aging is considered the first stage of cognitive decline, and each and every one of us will experience it as we continue to age. I just mentioned the first stage of cognitive decline. Are there more? Let's take a look at the various stages of cognitive decline and what they mean. I want to start by explaining cognitive decline doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds over time. The only stage that is certain is normal aging. Here's an overview. normal aging or no cognitive impairment. At this stage, there's no noticeable decline in cognition, and people can perform daily activities without any issues. This is considered normal aging or very early stages of cognitive impairment. As you can see, the next three stages have charted a slightly different flight plan. This plan can be progressive over time, if not addressed through some type of intervention. The first one is subjective cognitive impairment. In this stage, people might notice a perceived decline in memory or attention, but it doesn't affect their ability to manage daily tasks. You might feel like something's off, but overall, you're still able to compensate. Our next stage is mild cognitive impairment, or MCI. In this stage, a person will show a measurable decline in cognitive abilities such as language, memory, reasoning, judgment, or perception that is not due to normal aging. Individuals in the MCI stage of severity can in most cases independently drive, shop, cook, pay bills, manage finances, do household chores, and other well-learned skills that do not place significant demand upon learning new information. The MCI stage is not seen in normal aging individuals, and it is due to one or more cognitive disorders or underlying health condition. Let's take a look at our final stage, dementia. This stage represents a significant decline in cognitive abilities, affecting even the most basic tasks like bathing or dressing. It can progress to interfere with speech, walking, and swallowing. Dementia is not a normal part of aging and is usually associated with more severe neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's disease or others. There is no current cure for neurodegenerative disorders. They progressively get worse over time. Let's look at another interesting statistic related to mild cognitive impairment. Did you know mild cognitive impairment affects approximately 20% of adults over the age of 60? Let's take a closer look at some additional facts about mild cognitive impairment. As we've learned, mild cognitive impairment is a condition that involves noticeable cognitive decline that is greater than expected for a person's age, but it's not severe enough to interfere significantly with daily life or independent functioning. Our first fact, and the most important I want to get across, is mild cognitive impairment is not dementia, but this diagnosis does significantly raise your risk of developing dementia or other neurodegenerative diseases. For example, not all MCI becomes dementia, but all dementia likely started with MCI. It is important to know that decline that meets the criteria of mild cognitive impairment can be caused by a variety of health and environmental conditions, not just those related to dementia or other neurodegenerative diseases. Early intervention is key in preventing dementia and other neurodegenerative diseases, and mild cognitive impairment is now considered the key inflection point for intervention. Let's take a look at some of the reasons why mild cognitive impairment is considered a key inflection point for prevention. A mild cognitive impairment diagnosis presents a significantly higher risk for dementia and other neurodegenerative diseases, but it is not inevitable. As we learn, many things can contribute to cognitive decline, and a large percentage of diagnoses never decline into a dementia stage. There are still many intervention options available that can stop or slow cognitive decline at this age. Diagnostics awareness has improved in recent years, making early intervention possible. The key to managing or preventing dementia or other neurodegenerative diseases is early intervention, so patients with MCI are considered primary targets for clinical trials. There are many modifiable risk factors that are still in play. Let's look at some current statistics about the progression of MCI to dementia. Did you know approximately 42.5% of individuals diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment progress to dementia within 5 years? The cumulative incidence of dementia from MCI is about 5.4% at year 1, 16.1% at year 2, 23.4% at year 3, and 31.1% at year 4, and ends at 42.5% at 5 years. At these odds, the chance MCI could progress is alarming. So what can we do to tip the noses of our plane upward and slow this decline? Let's explore the modifiable risk factors mentioned and see what we can do to slow this descent, in hopes we can bring the nose of our plane up slightly to lengthen our flight and help facilitate a smoother landing. Since many watching this video are brain injury survivors, I thought I would start with the obvious one. Protect your head. As we've learned, head injuries are a contributing factor of cognitive decline. The more you have, the higher the risk. Actively practicing safety measures like wearing helmets, and avoid taking unnecessary risks. Avoid the potential for falls at all costs, and actively work to improve your balance and mobility. For myself, I currently do balance exercises 5 days a week, and I use a cane and a chairlift system when experiencing balance issues. I also avoid any activities that have a high risk for fall. The next one I want to talk about is manage medical conditions. There are many chronic medical conditions that can cause or contribute to cognitive decline. Keeping these conditions in check will help improve or prevent cognitive decline. This is a big one for me since I have several chronic medical conditions. I currently manage my cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, elevated heart rate, and obesity with a combination of medicine, diet, and staying active. It is very important to keep these numbers in check. So do not avoid annual checkups and recommended follow-ups. The next one is sleep hygiene. Proper sleep hygiene is crucial for brain health. Without, it affects memory, learning, emotional regulation, and even brain structure. Proper sleep allows the brain to consolidate memories, clear out waste products, and prepare for new learning. Poor sleep hygiene leads to cognitive decline, impaired decision-making, and increases the risk for dementia and other neurodegenerative diseases. Prior to my injury, I was diagnosed with chronic sleep apnea, so I was already at a slight disadvantage. Things that I have found that really help improve sleep hygiene are reducing lights and screen time an hour before bed. I also maintain the use of my CPAP and stay compliant with follow-ups and sleep studies. Our next item is get moving. Staying active is crucial for preventing cognitive decline due to its positive impact on brain health. Regular physical activity promotes neurogenesis, new brain cell growth, or synaptogenesis, formation of connections between brain cells, and improves blood flow to the brain, all of which are essential for maintaining cognitive function. This is something I avoided for years after my accident. Due to mobility issues and fatigue, I am finally starting to understand its importance and have been working to incorporate into my daily schedule through a combination of balance therapy, dog training, walking, and full body vibration therapy, which I do while working utilizing a standing desk. I am now up to over 150 minutes a week of activity. Our next item is keep learning. Lifelong learning is crucial for preventing cognitive decline because it strengthens your cognitive reserves and promotes neuroplasticity. By actively challenging the brain with new information and experiences, individuals can build resilience against age-related cognitive decline and potentially delay the onset of dementia or other neurodegenerative condition. I have been somewhat lucky in this area because I am still able to work full-time as a consultant in the technical industry. Every day is filled with learning because technology is forever changing. This has been a double-edged sword for me because one of the key points of MCI is that learning new skills can be more difficult, leading to frustrations at work with the amount of learning required to keep up. This can eventually start to impact mental health, making it difficult to balance career and health concerns. I have also developed several art-related hobbies during my recovery that always keep me active in learning as well. Last, I also like to spend time reading and learning about traumatic brain injury and doing advocacy work and talks similar to this one. Our next item is stay connected. Staying socially active can play a significant role in preventing cognitive decline by stimulating brain activity, improving cognitive function, and potentially reducing the risk of dementia or other neurodegenerative diseases. Social interactions provide cognitive exercise, strengthen neural connections, and offer emotional and intellectual stimulation, all of which contribute to maintaining a healthy and resilient brain. I have been able to stay connected by joining several art clubs and brain injury support groups, as well as joining the executive board at the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky. This has also provided a wealth of opportunities for me to contribute and give back to a very deserving community. Our next item is manage mental health. Managing your mental health is crucial for mitigating cognitive decline. Poor mental health, including conditions like depression and anxiety, can accelerate cognitive decline and increase the risk of dementia or other neurodegenerative diseases. Conversely, maintaining good mental health through social engagement, stress management, and healthy habits can enhance your cognitive function and build resilience. I currently suffer with PTSD, panic disorder, and general anxiety disorder, as well as major depressive disorder. I can tell you this continues to be one of the biggest contributors to my cognitive decline still to this day. I manage this well with regular therapy sessions where we do a combination of EMDR and talk therapy. I also see a psychiatrist that specializes in memory disorders for medication management. I have been able to use several devices daily that help lessen the effects of frequent panic attacks and PTSD episodes. I can tell you some days I've been able to manage this very well, and other days it manages me. Next item is managing your intake. Nutrition is critical for maintaining cognitive function and reducing the risk of cognitive decline with age. A healthy diet provides the necessary nutrients for optimal brain function and helps counteract processes that can negatively impact cognitive health. With me being obese and having chronic conditions like high blood pressure and high cholesterol that were brought on by poor diet and unhealthy habits over time, I now try to focus on a very regimented brain healthy diet and have also eliminated things like caffeine and alcohol altogether. Our next item is manage sensory deficits. Managing your vision and hearing is crucial for maintaining cognitive health as you age. Sensory decline, particularly in vision and hearing, is strongly linked to cognitive decline and an increased risk of dementia. Addressing these impairments through appropriate interventions can help mitigate cognitive decline and improve overall well-being. One of the first things we found out after my accident was that I had severe high-frequency hearing loss in both ears. So I was fitted for hearing aids and now participate in frequent checks. Later, I started experiencing issues keeping up with conversations and understanding what was being said. This started to cause issues at my work, so my audiologist referred me to a specialist. And after my assessment, it was determined not only did I have severe hearing loss, but I also had an auditory processing disorder. I currently do auditory training exercises 3 times a week and have learned to use an FM mic system paired to my hearing aids, closed captions, and have started to use lip reading to supplement word recognition. About 2 years in, I was experiencing severe fatigue and was advised it could be vision related and to explore a neuro-optometrist check. It was determined at the check that I had binocular vision dysfunction and nystagmus. I was fitted with prism lenses and a binasal occlusion, which helped me with my fatigue issues right away. I have this checked annually and almost always have had a change. I currently do eye exercises 5 days a week to help with gaze stabilization and tracking issues caused by the nystagmus. I want to share one last fact I found that really made me realize how important the ongoing management of brain health was as I age, being a brain injury survivor. Did you know a single moderate to severe TBI increases the risk of dementia by 2 to 4 times? Let's take a moment to review what we've learned. First item was all of us will experience cognitive decline in our lifetime. It is common that TBI survivors would experience measurable cognitive decline after injury. We learned MCI is considered a crucial inflection point for the prevention of dementia and other neurodegenerative diseases. We also learned there are many modifiable risk factors that can be managed that will slow or prevent more serious decline. And last, there is no time like the present to make your cognitive health a priority. As we begin our final approach, I hope the information I have shared with you today provides you the information and tools needed to facilitate your own smooth landing. Safe travels. Thank you.
New chapters for my soul, not the end, just re-inspired. This is me, my life rewired.